Sean looking good? Or?
Yeah, he's looking real good. He's been incredibly consistent, hitting deep. I think we went almost 100% today. We only had one missed field goal today, and it was just maybe a foot outside the upright. He's been smacking the ball. I mean, I've been seeing him hit from 60 yards out here, and he's going to be real good this year.
Now, I don't know if you've seen kickoffs very much, or if y'all done anything about it, but has there been any talk of changing strategy because of the potential rule change that they might have, where they would allow fair catches?
I don't think there'll ever be a dramatic change in strategy, just because Ohio State has been so successful in kickoff coverage in the past. I think it's more just kind of molding the kickers and kind of getting them comfortable with the new scheme. Blake kind of got as a freshman, that's a big adjustment from high school coming into this this really tough scheme. But I don't think there'll be any change in strategy.
What are some of the things that you're working on now as you kind of go into your third year? What are some things that you're trying to do this spring to get even better at your craft?
The biggest thing for me is just working on consistency. That's the biggest thing. To me, I mean, that's the most important thing, is just putting the ball right where it needs to be for Drew every time. I've been working a lot on coverage, working on getting down the field. It's tough being a gunner and releasing down the field when you're running with, Denzel Ward, Paris Campbell, Terry McLaurin, and these guys that are ridiculously fast. And now we got these young guys. We got guys like Jeff Okuda, Isaiah Pryor, Brendan White that are, hauling down the field. So trying to keep up with those guys and just work on my coverage skills.
How exciting is that when you actually do get to the ball as a gunner? Do the guys on the bench get real excited when that happens?
Yeah, so it's cool. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, kind of being with those guys that are so fast. It's tough as a long snapper to make big plays down the field, especially when you got a ridiculous punter like Drew. We didn't have any return yards last year on punt until the team up north game. So, it's tough to make some plays, but when you do make a play, I downed a ball in the Cotton Bowl, and, everyone was coming up to me, everyone went nuts, and everyone was excited that, the long snapper finally made a play. So I finally got the opportunity. So it's fun. We have a lot of fun, and people are really, really cool and really supportive.
You talked about Sean's accuracy. I think Blake's accuracy on kickoffs is just as important. How's that been going?
Yeah, Blake's been doing fantastic. He was out taking we had KOR today, kickoff return, so he was taking all the scout team kickoff reps, and he's hitting the spot every time with like 4-second plus hanging time. So he's been doing phenomenal. And just his legs are insanely strong, and he's been working on his accuracy and consistency, and he's just getting better every day.
What do you do to kind of help some of the walk-on guys who are behind you and kind of help them improve their craft as long snappers?
I think the biggest thing is just kind of leading by example, and bringing everyone along. So when I work on specific drills that I learned from people that have come before me, I'll take these drills and teach them to the younger guys, and everything that we do it as a unit. So anytime the kickers do their kicking drills, it's from Sean all the way down to the newest freshman. When punters get their punting work in, it's Drew all the way down to the newest freshman. So it's the same with the long snappers. When we do drill work, it's all together. We're all working, at the same thing, the same amount. Everyone's putting in work.
What kind of is a spring practice like for a long snapper? People pay so much attention to the offense and defense. Who don't know what you guys do as much.
So spring's kind of interesting because being such a niche position as a specialist, it's strange because we get the way that our practices run is we do all of our special teams at the beginning of practice. So on a typical day, we'll have before we go to our stretch lines, we'll have a period called specialists where we get we'll get some punt reps in or some kickoff reps, and then our live special teams period is period 1. So after that, we have a lot of time the rest of practice. So we help out a lot with scout team. We do run a lot of routes for corners and DBs. We help with tackle drills, and then we do spend a lot of time doing a lot of individual work, working our own craft. And then sometimes we'll convene at the end if we have a live field goal day or something like that.
What positions do you usually line up at when you're on scout team?
So the past 3 years that I've been here, this being my 4th year, I've lined up anywhere from scout team quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, anything in between. Literally anything that they need. Specialists are there to jump in and service.
Should we mention you in the quarterback competition?
No, absolutely not. Every time that I've played quarterback, it's just been handing the ball off. So they just need someone to stand there, catch a snap, hand it to the running back.
Don't have the arm they need?
Not anywhere near Dwayne, Joe, and Tate and those guys. Not anywhere near.
I'm sure Mickey Marotti still goes pretty hard on you guys, though, in the conditioning.
Absolutely. So every time when we're doing conditioning work, when we're running with the team in the summer, we're always running with big skill. So we run a lot with the linebackers. When we're out here doing agility drills and agility stations, we're working with the linebackers. So we're really Coach Mick really emphasizes everyone doing the same amount of work, regardless of not only what year you are and what level you're at here, but also which position group. So kickers do the same amount as the wide receivers, as the linebackers do, as the DBs do. Everyone does the same amount of work, and everyone puts in the same amount.
You mentioned watching guys like Denzel and Terry run. Alex Grinch had mentioned like just the big speed that Ohio State has. You're running with the linebackers. You see it. What do you see there?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You got so many guys. I mean, you get guys that just kind of are that naturally come in and are fast. Guys like Keandre Jones, but then you see guys that are some of the bigger guys, bigger linebacker types like Tuff Borland, Baron Browning, Malik Harrison, that are still flying down the field. So it's really cool to see at every position, really, from linebackers, DBs, D-line, even the offensive linemen are running fast. Everyone's fast, and everyone's really fast at every position. It's really cool.
I know that Urban tweeted out a couple weeks ago as well, but you had an interview in New York with Goldman Sachs. How did that go? Yeah,
so that went really well. So I've been in contact with Goldman Sachs for about a little over a year now. And so I'm a finance major here at Ohio State, and I did get the opportunity through the Real Life Wednesday program that we have here. Ryan Stamper, our director of player development, had set up sort of a mini internship for me with Goldman Sachs last year in May. So I've been in contact with them for a little over a year now, and just over spring break, I spent spring break out in New York for the whole week, interviewing and kind of shadowing and getting familiar with the firm there in Manhattan.
Do you feel pretty confident there'll be a job for you there after graduation?
I don't know yet. It'd be really nice. That's kind of the dream. But it's a very cutthroat recruiting process. They have a really strong internship program that's really hard to get into. And it's tough to work around the kind of football schedule. It's a 10-week internship in New York City during the summer. So unfortunately, being on the team, that it's hard to be out there for 10 weeks. So we're trying to work around that process with some people there at the firm. But hopefully it'll lead to something in the future.
Does that competitiveness kind of remind you of the competitiveness here at Ohio State football?
Absolutely, without a doubt, 100%. There's such, the culture here at Ohio State is so elite. Everything we do, we strive to be, the best. Everything is at the highest level, and Goldman Sachs is the exact same way. Elite people, elite culture, accepting nothing but excellence, really, and perfection.
Is there like a specific title, specific career you're looking for, like for that post-football career?
Yeah, so post-football I've been looking specifically at Goldman Sachs at private wealth management and asset management. So dealing with ultra-high net worth individuals and doing portfolio management through Goldman Sachs, or also, like I mentioned, asset management, so dealing with endowment funds, large corporations, universities, kind of planning.
So you want to manage all your wealthy teammates' money?
Yeah, that's actually the goal. That's something that a couple of guys have actually come up to me and talked about. It's really cool seeing a lot of these young guys get drafted, at such a young age and coming into these giant lump sum signing bonuses. And a lot of them, have come to me and said, I don't know what I'm doing in terms of, I don't know anything about investments or financing or, estate planning or retirement planning. And a lot of guys have come to me and said, hey, when I get drafted, I'm coming to you, to help me out.